The 2024 Grammys celebrated a stunning night of music, but all eyes were on the show's final award, Album of the Year. With an incredibly stacked field including SZA's soulful Save Our Souls, Lana Del Rey's sweeping cinematic tales, and trenchant creative statements from Miley Cyrus and Janelle Monáe, the competition was fierce. Yet there could only be one winner, and in a history-making moment, Taylor Swift took home the Grammy for her intimate album, Midnights, becoming the only artist ever to win the show's top prize 4 times. Today, we'll break down Taylor's monumental win, the musical magic of Midnights, her emotional acceptance speeches, surprise album announcement, and more standout moments from music's biggest night. Taylor makes history with Midnights. It was a category filled with brilliant works of artistry, including SZA's raw vulnerability, Miley Cyrus's bold reinvention, and the sonic adventurousness of Boy Genius. But there was a sense of destiny around Taylor Swift's Midnights. As she describes it, the album chronicles 13 sleepless nights scattered throughout my life, where her imagination runs wild. The lyrics confront self-loathing, fantasies revenge, imagine alternate timelines, fall dizzyingly in love and painfully apart. These intimate tales resonated widely, launching Taylor to become the first artist ever with 4 albums hitting #1 on the Billboard 200. And by winning Album of the Year, Taylor cements Midnights as a cultural phenomenon, capping her transition into full autonomy as a songwriter, freely documenting her innermost thoughts. Taylor's gratitude. In her gracious acceptance speech for Best Pop Vocal Album, Taylor highlighted her eternal gratitude for those who helped craft this vision. Let's take a listen.
One of my best friends, Jack Antonoff.
It's clear Taylor doesn't take this success for granted. She gushed over Jack Antonoff, her close friend and magical producer, who helped manifest the synth-pop sparkle of tracks like Anti-Hero and Vigilante Shit. Their kitchen table chats that birthed these songs prove once again Taylor thrives through vulnerable collaboration. And by thanking fans who turned her personal tales into listening rituals, Taylor shows an enduring humility even as her fame balloons larger. Truly historic company. With her 4th Album of the Year win, Taylor now stands alone in Grammys history. At just 33 years old, she's crafted 4 era-defining masterpieces in Fearless, 1989, Folklore, and now Midnights. To put that in perspective, legends like Michael Jackson, Stevie Wonder, and Frank Sinatra never achieved that tally over their decades of iconography. So soak in this supernova talent, hitting an immortal peak before even reaching her mid-30s. An artist this culturally resonant, creatively adventurous, and publicly transparent emerges perhaps once a generation. The power of vulnerability. Taylor's dominant night proves yet again that truthful storytelling connects widely. As she dusts legends like Michael Jackson and Stevie Wonder in the history books before age 35, Taylor stands as the definitive artist of her generation. And beyond accolades, Taylor Swift represents visionary courage. In bearing her inner shadows and shining self-doubt so transparently, she gave language for millions to voice private yearnings they felt unable to share. Her diaristic prowess makes intimacy feel universal and broadcasts the awe-inspiring power of vulnerability as the ultimate human strength. She shows that the moments we may feel most ashamed, insecure, heartbroken, jealous, or enraged often provide the deepest resonance when aired honestly. So in seldom matched cultural impact, 4 Album of the Year trophies, and the highest grossing tour in history, we bow down to Taylor's bold heart laid bare. We praise her open journals and her immortal ability alchemizing raw feeling into messages of hope, catharsis, and shared understanding. Taylor Swift has wholly redefined what constitutes an icon in the 21st century. Where previous legends seemed almost superhuman, Taylor's relatability in admitting frailties makes her divine. She soundtracks not lofty fantasies, but rather our deepest dreams and demons, and convinces us we can transform our own shadows through courage and creativity. The solace and strength Taylor provides fans across the planet is a gift likely unmatched in her era. And in an astonishing career somehow still ascending, she's sure to keep redefining musical excellence through unprecedented honesty for decades to come. Simply put, Taylor Swift speaks larger truth more impactfully than any other modern figure. May our vulnerability icon continue blessing us with anthems turning pain into power until the end of time. Midnights as a cultural artifact. But let's zoom in on the album that made history, Midnights. Now immortalized alongside masterworks like Stevie Wonder's Songs in the Key of Life and Lauryn Hill's The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, what specifically powered Midnights into the cultural zeitgeist? For starters, the lyrics read like uncovered journals, bravely sharing Taylor's shadows and shining self-doubts. On Anti-Hero, she skewers her deepest insecurities around aging, body image, and seeking validation from others. Meanwhile, on Vigilante Shit, Taylor finds wicked humor in envisioning over-the-top revenge plots against an ex who betrayed her trust. Tracks like Lavender Haze and Snow on the Beach overflow with the dizzying rush of new love and raw infatuation. Taylor compares the heady feeling of falling for someone to being drunk or high, capturing universal experiences through her specific lens. Meanwhile, on the grief-stricken Bigger Than the Whole Sky, she memorializes the profound heartbreak and emotional complexity from her mother Andrea's cancer battle and death. Taylor digs into paralyzing depression, magical thinking, weeping uncontrollably, and learning to love wholeheartedly with the omnipresent knowledge that loss is inevitable. This thematic and emotional complexity represents Taylor's songwriting mastery in microcosm. She wields vivid yet concise imagery while confronting her most vulnerable sides, both light and dark. Fans feel understood in their own multifaceted sadness, anger, bliss, and pain. And combined with cathartic melodies and slick pop production, Midnights moves seamlessly from dance floors to headphones for an intimate listening experience. Jack Antonoff's shimmering synth loops and finger-snap rhythms complement Taylor's intimate late-night thoughts. Their alchemy results in bleeding-edge yet approachable pop catharsis. Ultimately, by speaking resonantly about the shared secrets and disorders many grapple with privately, Taylor created 13 sleepless nights soundtracking our own. Through the power of vulnerability turned universal, Midnights now enters the canon of era-defining pop albums, the Tortured Poets Department. And showing no signs of slowing down, Taylor announced her 11th studio album, The Tortured Poets Department, arriving April 19th.
My brand new album. It's called The Tortured Poets Department.
As sleuthing fans speculated, the title seems a nod to her 6-year romance with actor Joe Alwyn. Alwyn's favorite film is Dead Poets Society, starring Robin Williams as an English teacher who inspires students to seize their lives through poetry. Taylor's albums have become similar clarion calls for fans to live passionately. And knowing Taylor's gift for lyrical confessionals, the Tortured Poets Department suggests we'll receive unprecedented insight into her private relationship, spanning fame and anonymity. This glimpse behind the curtain into Taylor's closely guarded personal world is thrilling. If Midnights opened her diaries, the Tortured Poets Department may expose even more hidden corners. The album's cultural importance. Zooming back out to a wide view, Midnights now enters an immortal echelon. Taylor's 4th album of the year win surpasses Michael Jackson and the Beatles, entering just 7 artists who've ever achieved that milestone. This cements Taylor Swift as the voice of her generation. Much like Dylan and Mitchell in the 60s, Prince and Madonna in the 80s, and Cobain in the 90s, Taylor now defines musical excellence for the 2020s. And that cultural leadership comes from the power of honesty. By bearing her shadows and shining self-doubt, Taylor gave language for millions to voice private yearnings. She's created intimacy that feels universal through the power of vulnerability. So we bow down to Taylor Swift, her immortal songwriting gift, fearless honesty, and era-defining resonance. With her new album set to expose even deeper corners of her heart and mind, she's sure to continue redefining 21st century iconography for years to come. Taylor Swift has become the definitive musical voice of her generation. And after this Grammys coronation, her Midnights World Tour and Tortured Poets Department now set the stage for another history-making era. Let me know your thoughts on Taylor's eternal greatness. What's your favorite track or era that cements her unmatched brilliance?